Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Falcons Corner. Voice of the Falcons, Mike Rickert. Good guy to know, the co-host, Danny Berg. We're running out of things to talk about because things are finally slowing down in athletics. So it's exciting and sad all at the same time. But welcome to another show.
It's exciting. It's exciting time of year, playoff teams,
Yep.
right? It is sad because we were really gearing up to see all these teams play this year. But yesterday we were looking at my office, actually. We looked at the calendar that I have up on the board, and I looked at it in the morning. I was like, there's nothing. And our producer comes in, and he's like, you know what's a really nice thing? And I'm looking, I'm like, what? I'm like, what did I miss? There's not much on that board right now.
Yeah.
There's light at the end of the tunnel,
Yep.
but we still do have some baseball coming up,
Yes.
which will be still a busy weekend.
Yep, so let's just lead off with that. So let's talk, Coach McCarry and the Falcons are hosting Region 19 championships, mostly being played down at Scranton High School, home of Falcon baseball.
It is. Can't wait. It's an exciting weekend. You have 4 teams coming in. We're paired up with Sussex County Community College, and then Raritan Valley and Delaware Tech are coming up. And like you said, primarily at Scranton High School.
Right.
But Valley View High School was gracious enough to allow us to play one of our games there on Friday at 10 a.m. So it kind of alleviates a little bit of a logjam of games on Friday.
Yeah, and it takes some pressure off of all of us who have to go and staff the games and be there and stuff too. So we're not spending, a full, 18 hours on one site.
Just 12.
Yeah.
Right.
12, 18 though. What difference does it make? But we are going to talk to Coach McCarry, later on in the show, and he's going to give us a little update and, his outlook for, the championships.
I think he'll have a lot of good things to say.
Yeah.
Number 1 seed, they've been ranked pretty much all season. And, last weekend, they went down to Gloucester.
Yep.
Not the best showing.
No, but they got out of there with the split on the doubleheader.
I think it's just one of those, all right, now we're prepared. You're battle tested again.
Right.
You realize that maybe it's not as easy as you think things might be. And there is such thing as a good loss. I think there is in the coaching world, and that might be one of them to get it out of the way before they go on a run to Enid, Oklahoma.
Right, and then they got they came back at it Sunday at home and got a rain-shortened 5-inning victory. So I think one thing that'll be important for them is that that was Sunday. They don't play again until Friday. They're all rested. Their arms
They could
are ready
rest,
to go.
and I just think that's Coach McCarry looking out for Joe Papp. He got him out of there in 5 innings. Single game. It wasn't a double, and then out of there.
And speaking of Joe Papp, around let's say like 2:30 or so on Sunday, my phone rings and it was Joe Papp. So I answered. He called me by mistake.
Oh.
But I ended up talking to him, and he told me that the game was shortened because of rain, and he was very excited. He's just waiting for everyone to go. He was going to go home.
Usually I get those calls. He doesn't know that he accidentally called me, and there's a whole lot of rustling going around.
Well, it did take a little Joe.
They wanted to know why his pants were talking to him.
Yeah, and then he picked it up. He's like, oh!
Joe.
But we'll spend some time with Joe this weekend too, so we look forward to that. But we did have some of our teams finish their seasons, so let's stay on the diamond with softball because they were down at Del Tech, and then for their Region 19 championships and suffered a doubleheader sweep.
Very good Del Tech team.
Yeah, and they hit, and I think our bats just went a little cold. I mean, I watched the games. We put the ball in play, hit the ball hard, but, baseball, softball is a funny game, you got to hit them where they ain't. You
Right.
can hit the, what out of the ball, but if they're at people, you're not going to score runs, and Del Tech, they just smash.
They do, and early on in the season when they played up here, and they're just good, and you keep saying it, they hit, and they hit, and they hit, and I was able to catch the first game, and it was like, wow, and it wasn't anything that we did wrong.
Yeah.
They're just good, and sometimes you can't control how good another team is, and it's tough. I mean, you're on a 4-hour bus ride down there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it's the number 1 seed.
Right.
But you got to the championship game.
Yep.
In a year where you didn't know again if you were going to play.
Exactly.
Our teams are getting to nationals. They're getting to the region championship games where they hadn't been in a couple years. So I mean, hats off to Coach Pitzman and his staff for getting those kids ready, and the girls for sticking with it. They had a couple shutdowns, not just for themselves, other schools.
Yep. Yeah. So there's
precautionary
the
things, and holy moly,
was very
but
consistent.
to get down there and get to the championship, sometimes that's half the battle. They could taste it a little bit, and then hopefully they can get back there next year.
Yep. And knowing Coach Pitzman, he's already out on the recruiting trail, I'm sure, and he's always having those ladies coming in, and so he does a great job recruiting talent. So they will be back. Let's just hope next year that they're hosting, so our leader, our boss, doesn't have to drive 4 hours as softball chair of the region.
Right.
So
Yeah,
we
gets to
got
hang
to
out
look out
here.
for him a little bit too.
Just roll down the hill instead of hopping on the highway
It's much.
in a sweet, cool little sports car.
But congratulations to softball and all those ladies. We look forward to those that are returning and those that are leaving us. We wish them the best of luck, in their future endeavors at their next four-year school. But kudos to Coach Pitt and their staff and all the girls on a good season. And then we had our men's and women's, wrap up their season. I know you were at soccer, on Saturday. So they, both were dealt, a shutout loss.
Yeah, Harkham's, they're a tough Division I junior college soccer program,
Yep.
And we're Division II, and they're fully funded, so, and not to make excuses, but they have a lot of full scholarship kids. Right. Their coaches have been there a real long time, and on the men's side, they had a new coach this year. Okay. A lot of years experience. He came over from RCBC, brought some of his talent with him. Right. So it was nice to see, and he's a great guy. But they were good. Yeah. I mean, they were good. Not to take anything away from our team. They played them tough.
Right.
But the opportunities, they just executed at the right times. And I talked with Coach Smith afterwards, taking advantage of the opportunities that present you when they're presented to you against a team that is
right.
that good. You have to capitalize. You might get 3 or 4.
Yep.
You got to try to capitalize, and they just unfortunately weren't able to do so. It's. I don't think the score indicated. Actually how close the game was on the men's side, right. And especially on the women's side.
Okay.
7-0. It was 1-0 at halftime.
Okay.
And in the second half, I think Harkham, they scored quick. And in the first 10 minutes of the second half in soccer, usually it's hard. You go down 2-0 now all of a sudden.
It's just like any sport, it snowballs, right?
It does, and then they just all around and possession, and it was just a different style. And Coach Sam from down there, I don't know where she gets these kids, but holy moly, their engines don't stop. Yeah. Like even when back years ago. But Coach Smith's girls, they fought to the end. Good. I mean, we had a goal scoring opportunity as the final horn goes off. Right. Goalkeeper makes a save. Hard play with Alea Shade. But the girls worked their tails off through a shortened season, sometimes with not a full 11 on the field at a time due to injuries, COVID, various things. But they hung in there, and it's a true testament to the work ethic of those girls. And I know that the sophomores that can move on, a lot of them have signed those letters of intent to come back.
Nice.
So I think they'll have a good baseline to bring in new freshmen, put their arms around them, and really have that true leadership of a third-year player. Good. But soccer. It was a long day. Yeah. It rained. Yeah. It sleeted. The sun came out. I started sweating. It quickly went away, and I was soaked. Anything for the department, though.
I was going to say there's only one person that could have fulfilled that job, and
that's totally me.
And that was you. So, we all thank you for your sacrifice. But best of luck to our men's and women's soccer, next year. And like I said, again, those that are moving on, best of luck to them. And those that are coming back, we can't wait to get you back because great things for the soccer program ahead. So let's take a breather.
Yeah. You got to put on it. It's a little chilly down here.
It is cold.
I'm going to put a hoodie on, but I can't. I spilled coffee all
I think
over.
I'm just going to be talking to Coach McCarry because you're so chilly. You could go and you could go warm up. We'll put a blanket on you.
Yeah. I need to be
before
babied.
you can warm up before the end of the show and stuff too. So.
My agent had that on my deal for me. Thanks, Jack.
Everyone, hang tight. Coach McCarry, come up in a second. Take flight. Back on the Falcons Corner, talking Region 19 Championship Baseball. Joined us now, head coach of the Falcons, Coach Mike McCarry. Coach,
thanks for having me, Mike.
Thanks for coming. I know you guys are busy. You're going through all this. We got to do our safety protocols and going through your testing and practice. And I know you spend a lot of time at the field with field prep and stuff.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for taking some time out. Exciting weekend this weekend?
Absolutely.
What excites you most about your team right now heading into the region championship?
Health and wellness. It's been about 5 weeks since I think we've had all the guns healthy at the same time.
Right.
We're back.
Yeah.
We're back to feeling pretty good. And that excites me because when they were all together, we were pretty tough to deal with.
Yeah, and Danny and I talked about the touch base on that earlier in the beginning of the show, how it's nice that, you had your 5-inning, range shortened game, but now you got, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to get all your guys rested, all your arms are fresh, everyone's ready to go.
Deep breath, kind of rest the bodies up, and then dump the tank to empty this weekend.
And speaking of arms, because we all know that pitching is, will be key to the weekend, especially if you have to, face teams multiple times and, play a handful of games. How is the pitching depth right now? How you guys looking arm-wise?
I feel pretty good. Zach Claypack and Kyle Scott are as good as starters that exist in this region. As we get into our bullpen, if those guys go deep into games, we've got plenty to stay competent on the mound and score a bunch of runs.
Now, let's just throw out a scenario, though, too, say, if you need, like, Zach or Kyle to come in, like, Sunday in a pinch after they started a game on Friday. Do you do that?
Probably not.
All right. You're confident enough in your guys that you have?
I'm confident in our guys, and really, if I preach all year that we're here to develop and protect guys for the higher levels, I can endanger them in that way if I haven't trained them in that way.
Right.
So if I trust the rest of the roster, we should be fine.
Good, awesome. Which is key, and I know pitching depth is always something that we stress here at Lackawanna College, something that we've always had. How is the offense coming around? You guys were really swinging the bat early in the season. Still continuing to score runs. So how's that lineup looking?
I think we're really deep with physical players, and if we've got the right matchup, we're going to score more runs than the team could possibly comprehend to score against us.
Right.
Certain guys can give us some trouble, but we've got a lot of maturity up and down to kind of figure out that puzzle over the course of 9 innings.
Now, talk about the rest of the region. You play Sussex, in your opener Friday. What obstacles do they present, and the other squads you possibly face this weekend?
I think all 3 of those teams have a healthy respect for us, and they come out knowing that they can really define their season by beating us. There's an energy when we play teams like that can kind of be off-putting when you want to kind of ease into a game. You see a lot of cheering early on when they score runs early,
right?
And take you out mentally of the game. Sussex has some really solid bats 1 through 9. Del Tech does too. It's more about getting into the depths of their bullpen and their pitching into guys that maybe aren't as prepared to deal with our lineup as ours would be for theirs.
Right.
Essentially.
And what is your mindset as the head coach going into Friday? Are you you're going with your number 1 game 1, or are you going to just try to save them for the championship game once you get there, or are you just going to each game we face is the game we have to win?
I think having won this thing before back in 2019, the best pathway is to throw everything you can at Friday to win both games. And then understand that every game you play from there on out is somebody else's second game of the day.
Right.
So if I can throw the 2 big guns on Friday and we can get through Friday swimmingly, I feel we're set up with the rest of our roster on Saturday to beat a team that's a little bit depleted from playing in the morning.
Right, and that's something else I was in touch base on too, is that's what's nice about playing multiple games over the course of the weekend, is that even though you're throwing maybe your 3 or 4 in those games, the schools you're playing are maybe throwing their 3, 4, or 5 or stuff too,
and we did this before on the road. And now we get the luxury of being at home. That just adds to it. And I think we're really tough to beat down at that field.
And then what is the advantage of, being at home besides, you're used to, playing down at Scranton High School? Like, what is the advantage, for you, the coaching staff, the rest of the guys of just,
It's hard to overstate the benefit of sleeping in your own bed, eating food that you know where it's coming from, and being around familiarity leading up to the field. There's strength in the legs and there's endurance that comes with that just doesn't come with a 2-hour bus ride and a hotel stay when you're in foreign territory.
Right.
It gives us that upper hand in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning that the other team won't have.
Yep. And then, we mentioned Sussex. What are the other, 2 other schools that are in the region?
Del Tech
and
Raritan Valley.
Okay.
And then we haven't seen Raritan Valley this year. They're the kind of man of mystery.
Okay, and I know that you guys swept Sussex early on in the doubleheader, and then what was, Del Tech, what was the result?
We swept them too down at their place.
All right, good.
It was a good game. Good. But well played, and they're well coached by Coach Madden. It's always tough when we play them.
Good. And then any other, guys that we should, look for opposing wise, like, all right, if you come watch us play Del Tech on, Saturday, just, throwing that scenario out there.
They're all numbers to me.
Yeah.
The outfielder, I believe his number was 3 or 5. He hit 2 homers against us down at Del Tech.
Okay.
He was really good. Left-handed hitting outfielder. He hit second in the order. Sussex had a good arm, number 17, that early in the game. That gave us a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and I don't expect you to know their names, because I'm surprised you know all your guys' names, with how deep your roster and stuff too. And it's like, but if it was me, it was, I'd be,
But we're in a position where I think if we just focus on ourselves, it's not necessarily the opponent.
Right.
We've got enough guys that we can prevail here.
Right. Are you, and I'll leave you with this, when Joe Papp is down there watching, covering your games, do you get like a little sense of like nervousness, like, oh my gosh, Joe Papp is here in the press box, watching these games, the legend himself?
It's a heavy burden to have to act like you're the smartest guy all the time. When Joe Papp's around, I can drop that act. I know that somebody else is more worldly and smarter about baseball than I am right on site.
Yeah, and he's a huge baseball guy. And
Yeah.
if he could, he'd probably be behind the plate, calling balls and strikes too.
He could do my job for me and his job at the same time. So it's nice to have somebody that worldly kind of around.
Well, just so you know, if you happen to play Friday like around 11, he's getting his haircut. He won't be there, so there's going to be a little extra pressure on you. He asked if he could just not work that time, so he has to make sure those,
like one of the
his
kids.
golden locks are all taken care of. But he's going to look sweet on Saturday and Sunday if he needs to. So
hopefully we're not playing Sunday.
Yes.
Hopefully not.
Yes. Awesome. So thanks for joining us. Good luck to you and your guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
this
Mike.
weekend. All right, we'll be back in the Falcons Corner. Take flight. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Falcons Corner. Voice of the Falcons, Mike Rickard, good guy to know. The co-host, Danny Berg. Best of luck to our Falcons this weekend as they compete for a region championship. The weather's supposed to be nice, I think, too.
So far, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
We get a nice little suntan. I might have to.
Suntan?
Yeah.
I just burn.
Well,
I do get tan though, up to here.
if it's a short sleeve kind of weather day, I might have to roll up the sleeves a little bit so I don't have the farmer's tan. But I think it's going to be in between.
I think as
Short
long
sleeve, long
as
sleeve.
if there's any potential for showers, they're late PM showers.
Yep.
Will be good. The weather looks nice for the next couple of days, so the fields will be dry by then, and
Right.
it's going to be windy as heck this afternoon. So we should be good to go. And looking forward for them to get a repeat of Region Championship with just a 1-year sabbatical.
Exactly. Yeah. How does that work? Because they probably would have won it last year too. So we could just
We'll just say it was. We could say
pretend that it's
a
3 in a
three-peat.
row. Why not? Or 4?
It's 2 in a row. 3's a winning streak.
Yeah. We could just make up numbers.
3's a
7,
winning streak.
8, exactly.
Keeping
So
it all baseball related to
Yeah.
my people, our fans out there that know Major League.
But it's sad to know that probably next week when we recap the region championship for baseball will be the last show of the semester, and we will be off all summer.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Wow. We're getting time off?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
It's
maybe
in your
we
contract, buddy.
We might pop in.
I'm sure if we league the baseball team advances to the World Series, that we'd have to do an emergency show.
Yeah, but even still, I mean, we might have a pop-up show. There's pop-up parties all through town.
No.
And no?
No, it's not happening.
Really?
Nope.
Why?
It's just not going to happen.
10-month contracts for us. Getting on coaching 10-month
Listen,
contracts.
it's been hard to lead the show now when there's not much to talk about. So if we really had nothing to talk about, people might start getting bored.
We could start reflecting on Netflix stuff.
We can. I did watch another documentary series the other day, but it's probably not the most appropriate.
Well, we'll save it. We'll talk off camera about it and let them
right
guess
now
about what it might be.
and stuff too. But it was a documentary of events that happened in the late 70s, early 80s in New York City. But
Gotcha.
it was very good.
Good.
It was good. I enjoyed it. And it was a limited edition, 4 episodes, so I was able to watch all 4 on Sunday.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
Yes.
And you weren't up till 1 o'clock in the morning either.
Or
you
like
were?
11.
Okay.
11 or so. All right, that's it. Best of luck to baseball.
Yeah, I
Congratulations
can't
to
wait
all our
to see
student
that.
athletes, and especially on them completing all of their finals.
Finals, grades in. Hopefully in the next week we'll be able to share, how many student athletes maybe made some academic All-American status and things like that.
Yep.
And really, let them know what the student athlete's all about, the student component first. And I know our kids were working their tails off this year, and and all of them being in season is not easy.
Yeah,
So, great kids. We're lucky.
Yep.
I will say that we're pretty darn lucky here.
Yep.
So, hopefully it won't be our last show next week. 2 weeks.
We'll see.
Get through
We'll let
Memorial
everyone
Day.
know next week what the plan is.
All
But
right, sounds
for
good to
those
me.
that need to see us, they might as well just get ready. That might be next week. Might be the last time they see us for a couple weeks.
Then we'll see you in August.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good.
It sounds beautiful.
All right.
Yes. All right. Good. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great week. Again, make sure. Before we go? We are live streaming baseball, right? So we could get on Twitter, our social media pages, to check out the link for that to watch some baseball action. Will all games be live streamed that are at Scranton Memorial Stadium, or just the Falcon baseball games? All games are going to be, live streamed.
Well, we have a very dedicated camera person.
Yes. Yes.
God bless her.
Yes. She'll be fine, and she'll make sure those balls and strikes and outs and base runners are up to date and are perfect.
Yep, without a doubt.
Good for her.
Live streaming.
Beautiful.
Maybe some commentary.
Yes.
I don't know that, but the commentary just might be the fans yelling.
Exactly.
That works for me.
And again, if you don't want to watch the live stream, you get all those updates and, game results and stats,
Come
on our
out
social
on
media
Friday morning,
webpage. Yep.
10 a.m., Falcons taking on the Skylanders.
Mimosas for everybody. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great week. Go Falcons. Take flight.